broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everyone! Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's after show right here for Total Divas. I am Kaori Takee. You can follow me at Kaorius, and all week long and anytime, anywhere, you can send us your comments and all that good stuff at #ABTV Total Divas. I've got lovely ladies with me. Introduce yourselves.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paulina Aguilar.
Hey there, I'm Christy Olson. You guys can follow me and keep up with me on Twitter and Instagram at Christy Reports. Where can they find you, Paulina?
Twitter _Paulina Aguilar. Don't forget.
That's right, Twitter.
Don't forget.
Twitter's the place to be if you want to find us because we are available. That sounds a little creepy. But that being said, before we get into our recap, we have a very huge announcement that tomorrow, live at noon Pacific Standard Time, we are going to have Eva Marie in the studio for a very fun interview. So send over your questions again at #ABTV Total Divas. And hopefully we can get those questions, comments, and all that good stuff with her around
Get
tomorrow.
to the bottom of the drama.
All Red Everything is coming to AFTERBUZZ TV.
Once again,
it's going to be good.
Yes, it's going to be exciting to have All Red, Everything Red right here in the AFTERBUZZ TV studios. Again, 12 noon at Pacific Standard Time, live. So join us in the chat. Send us your Twitter questions and all that good stuff. It's going to be really fun. Yeah. We're really excited. But yeah.
We're like T-minus 13 or 14 hours here. Like, we're getting there.
Oh, I mean,
we gotta go home and get some beauty rest.
I mean, I'm puzzled by what the heck am I gonna wear because
I'm more worried. I'm gonna go home and do some abs.
I know, right? She's gonna make me feel butt ugly.
Oh yeah. I always say from interviewing these ladies on the red carpet, I always say no one will make you feel shorter, fatter, paler, and more underdressed than a WWE diva.
Oh, for sure.
It's not possible.
I just know. I'm like I concede defeat. It's all good. But let's get to our recap, and we're talking season 4, episode 3. What is this one called again?
Eat your heart out.
Thank you. Eat your heart out. Overall thoughts on this episode, guys?
Awkward. It's just awkward. I think the whole fight between the Bella twins and the girls and Eva, the situation was just awkward. The sushi bar at the actual Wrestlemania event, she's walking by, like, it's just awkward.
Yeah, and what stuck out to me was Bri being like super catty.
Hey, she's honest.
Super catty.
I give her respect for that, though. I mean, hey, she doesn't want to go out of her way to go talk to Eva. Nikki does.
Right.
So that's how she feels. That's how she feels.
You know, it was a little more fire than we've seen from Bri before.
Yeah, she was a little stubborn about it, but she's like, oh, things to worry about.
She's a little snarky. She's got those little comments to throw in at you, too.
Yeah.
It was hilarious how her mom tried to reel her in.
Yeah.
She's like, be nice, Bri.
For me, this episode was a little cluttered. There was so much going on. We had Wrestlemania, then we had Natty's storyline, and then we had a little bit of Trinity, and then her snippet of her stepchildren, and then Bri over here, Nikki over here.
And then we went to the fertility clinic.
Yeah, I'm like, how am I gonna organize this? But we're gonna do our best. So let's start off with Natty. Let's start off with her because she's nervous because she is going to induct Alundra Blaze during the Hall of Fame. What did you guys think of this whole thing going on? It just felt like time filler for me.
It sort of did, unless we could have seen a little bit more between Alundra and Natty. It almost just seemed like, for the show, so she's going to do the speech, and we're shooting it, and here they are for 1 second talking to each other. I would have liked to know more about she and Alundra's relationship, her preparation for the speech, and I would have liked to know beforehand that they had to approve it so we could prepare ourselves for that little moment.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, speaking of the speech, I was confused because she was told not to tell a story, but when it aired, I didn't understand what story was supposed to be omitted. So either I was going to say, either she just did it and the show edited it out, or
that's a good point, because I was at the Hall of Fame and I was watching her speech was great, and I didn't feel anything that triggered anything awkward. They kind of made it weird on the show, but they didn't tell us how. So I was lost in this storyline.
I was, and I maybe think where the discrepancy is that this really was a real moment where a producer came over to her and said, you can't use this. What he said was sort of like, it's too out there. So I don't know if there was maybe more to it, that the details were
inappropriate.
Something, but I think that was legit, that he came over and he's not on camera, and like I said, while we were watching, if that was something that was set up for the show, I think they would have sent Mark Carano in there, because we're used to seeing him, and so I think because they got that, they wanted to use it, but it ended up not really making sense, because we needed at least one soundbite of her going, I decided to just do it anyway.
And plus it said WWE producer. He really didn't want to let people know who he was.
But did you see how sneaky that cameraman was?
Yeah.
He left the audio on.
He did.
Movie business.
And then he walked away and you're like, who is that? Who that is?
And they panned all the way up to you couldn't see the back of his head.
But for what it's worth, it was nice to see kind of behind the scenes of how it went down, how she was preparing for the Hall of Fame, and backstage with her dominatrix outfit and her jokes with her father about getting a whip, and her moment.
Real weird.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I like how you're like,
I look real weird. Sorry. Not sorry. No, that's weird.
Well, and when she said, oh, Daddy, you seem really relaxed, I thought, uh-oh, here we go. But it must have all been cool.
The good thing about Natty is she always brings all the legends into the yard. You get to see those going on. And then also, I guess, if anything, it shows us watching her leading up to her I guess, valet moment at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Which was huge for her and for Tyson as well.
Yeah. And Cesaro. Don't forget Cesaro. And so, okay, let's talk a little bit about gosh, there's so much going on. But let's talk about Trinity briefly, because there's really not much to talk about other than that she is suddenly on the side with Eva, not by choice, but pretty much how the Divas kind of just chose to cast them to the side because Trinity decided to be PC.
I don't see it that way. I don't feel like she went to her side per se.
I don't think so either.
I don't think she picked a side. She's just the only one that will talk to Eva.
No, I completely agree, but I think by default, the Divas are a little catty.
Just by association.
Yeah, and they're like, I can't believe you're talking to Eva. And I obviously, I think this is dramatized for TV purposes. I don't think it's really that way backstage. Obviously, I don't know. Maybe we could ask Eva tomorrow. But yeah, and then you get to see her storyline and how she ends up. We see her stepchildren. We've never seen them.
Finally,
how many kids? Was that all of them? Is there more?
I think there's only 2.
I think it's just the 2.
That's a nice moment for her.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and for years we watched her and kind of knowing that she was a stepmom and never seeing that side of it. And I always assumed that maybe the children's mother didn't want them on TV.
Right.
So that must have changed now. Maybe there's some money.
Deal? A money deal
happening there. But either way, we got to see them, and it was cool. You assume that she's the kind of woman who would be a great stepmom and doesn't have like baby mama drama with the mom and that kind of thing. And it seems like she does have a great relationship with them. It's cute.
Yeah, and no matter how little we see Trinity, I'm glad that she's returned as, a main cast member. And every time she's on screen, she always has something fun to say, along with her husband.
He's funny.
He's so funny. So funny. But yeah, let's talk about someone else who's funny, Bryan Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan, because him and his wifey are considering having children. I think more than considering.
They're trying.
They're trying to the point where they go to a fertility doctor and check their fertility status, which,
everything's good.
Superhuman sperm, super sperm, and super eggs. So it's all good, which leads Bri to believe after her WrestleMania match, she decides, I'm going to do both. Big decision for us. I mean, I think we kind of expected her to stay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just thought, I know, are you looking at my face and being like, what is she doing? Because it just occurred to me, and maybe I'm completely wrong, and maybe this is just weird. The fact that he had such a high count, or such a great count, do you think that's an indicator that he's on, like, HGH or something? He's had a lot of injuries.
I'm
this
not
is around this
very
time, and is that something that correlates?
In terms of medicine, I have no idea.
Maybe. All right. Any guys out there who pump the HGH and are informed as to what it did to their sperm count, let me know.
But yeah, I mean, they're trying, and that's if the moment she gets pregnant, it's gonna exponentially change the course of the Bella twins. So I'm very curious to see how that pans out. And I also love, and I know he's a little mean, Daniel Bryan's consistent jabs at Nikki not choosing to have children. It's kind of mean, but it's like...
Well, I think you said this in the trailers, that it's tough love. I think it's funny. Like,
I think she said that one.
Yeah, I think when Nikki was like, I wonder where I'm going to be in a year. Alone. Like, this little jab, I laughed.
I did too.
Yeah, it seems like he's sort of trying to like shock her into, that's the life that you're signing up for. Like, are you sure? Do you remember how you wanted this other life?
And I think sometimes he does that because behind closed doors, they both know that's what she wants. They both know she wants kids and a family, and John's not going to give that to her.
Sure.
So I think it's kind of a little bit of a reminder. Maybe he could be nicer. I don't know, but I
think she's just so focused now because John's not going to really offer her that
family,
that life.
Right.
I think she's a lot more focused on WWE and being the diva at this point. So it's working. She's putting focus on that, which
she should.
And
which she should.
Yeah.
I wish that they would sort of let this go entirely because, in the grand scheme of things, Nikki and John are still young and they have a lot of money and they do have this fast-paced lifestyle right now. He just attributed that in an interview to the fact that why they haven't been married or even talked about it yet. So I think if she just holds her breath and just waits down the line, he's going to come back around on the marriage thing.
So?
It's not that long since he's been divorced.
How long
when
has
they
it
started
been?
talking about it, it's just a few years.
He literally
If
started
that.
dating Nikki like a couple months after his divorce.
Yeah, so it was way too soon to be talking about marriage. Remember, that was the first season. That was July 2013. Like, that would have been not too long after he was divorced. I mean, I think if she just lets it go for a while, especially when his career slows down, which will be a long time, things are going to change.
Well, we see that she stopped bugging him about it. Now she's hearing it from her family.
Yeah, I think they should stop bugging her about it.
Wait, so are you saying you think that they're going to get married?
Yeah, I do. I'm sure that it'll be a long ways down the line, and maybe he won't change his mind on the kids stuff. Maybe he will, or maybe she'll decide that she's fine just having nieces and nephews. I'm sure there'll be a gaggle of them. But I definitely think they're going to tie the knot. I think that he's even sort of admitted that he's. Like, last season, wasn't he even kind of saying, like, okay, would that be enough for you if we just got married?
I did not get that at all last season or the previous seasons. I am not seeing their marriage in the near future.
He was very stern as, I've already gone through this, I don't want it, I need to protect myself, and which is why he gave her the contract. Like, he's very strong on his word. I don't know. I might have to disagree with you on
one
that.
thing's for sure that he is sick of talking about it.
Right.
Because I was going to mention this in News and Gossip, but he was on Watch What Happens Live last week, and he wouldn't say a word. Andy Cohen was telling him, this is the number one question we've gotten. Are you going to propose to Nikki? We've never gotten a question so much.
Yeah.
And they asked it to him in a couple different ways, a few different times. And he just
dodged
said,
them all.
he said that he's going to keep that between me and Nicole. Like 3
Nicole.
times.
I love when they call her Nicole.
Yeah, I know, it's so cute.
Yeah.
And again, said that, they have this fast life right now and they're deeply in love, and that's kind of all that matters. But he definitely was like, I'm going to keep that between me and Nicole. Like, yeah, she knows that we're going to get married eventually. It's fine. Everybody shut up.
But here's the thing. Even
that was your takeaway.
Even if, say, they decided to get married or decided to have kids, it's not going to be anytime soon.
No, definitely not.
Nikki's signed. She's staying. So even if John said today, hey, I do want to have kids with you and I do want that, either she's going to break that contract and say, you know what, I really want that just as much as Bri, or she's going to be like, okay, well, it happens when the timing is right and when we decide.
I mean, my suspicion is that Nikki will pretty much do whatever John wants. She seems like between the two, she seems like the one that
Sacrifices a lot.
Oh yeah,
definitely. I can see that.
She does it at the same time. I've sort of thought about like putting myself in her situation, or if that was my sister or my friend, and I'm like, John is a good guy.
I was about to
say, you can't really do
is.
a whole lot better than John Cena, and people are going to make sacrifices in any relationship. I mean, who would give up life with John Cena? You know what I mean? That's just.
But I mean, it's not like.
Not even that I think he's that great. I mean.
But we're talking.
He's
kids.
no Ryback.
You're talking kids.
You're talking kids. I mean, I would not be happy if I did not have kids. Maybe not. I don't want them now, but I don't know if I can go life without kids, and that's something that Nikki's struggling with, and that's a big thing to give up.
Yeah, like at least the possibility of having children,
right?
Is
it at least in the future, 10 years from now, if it has to be? I don't know.
And I think Nikki's kind of, I mean, obviously it's just opinion, but I think she's more on your wavelength, where she thinks that John might change his mind.
Yeah.
You know, so who knows?
Oh no, and did I just give her more false hope?
Who knows?
Sorry, girl.
And you guys, this show is brought to you by our sponsor. So now I'm going to read our sponsor. Let's see how good I do this day. So before we continue, we'd like to thank our sponsor for supporting this show, Mazda. And Mazda has a very important question for you. Does driving matter to you? Because there's over 4 million miles of road in the U.S. to find out. That's a lot of ground to cover, a lot of highways, freeways, wrong ways, long ways. They're all there waiting to be driven on. So, do you take that left turn at Albuquerque or just keep going? Do you wake up early Sunday morning for a drive before the traffic does? Or do you take the long, winding road home for a change? So if driving matters to you guys, just get out and drive. Because why? Because driving matters. Mazda. I mean, what better person to say it than a Japanese person, I'm just saying.
Good point.
I'm just kidding. All right, so let's talk about Nikki as champ and her argument with Eva Marie. Ooh. Because that's a big deal. They were feisty at each other, and I think, I think after watching this, a lot of viewers are kind of sided between, Nikki's right or Natty's right. I'm not sorry, Eva Marie's right. And in the chat, people are asking, which side are you guys on? Have you guys chosen a side or?
I'm Trinity. I am not picking a side. I don't think it's fun to get ganged up on or to gang up on somebody. I'm all for respect and you give credit to where credit is due, and I'm Trinity's side. How about that?
Okay, fair. You're going PC. You're going PC. I can see both sides. I can definitely see both arguments, but I do.
They're totally
crazy. No. Believe it or not, I do feel for Eva Marie, and I know every single thing that Nikki has to say is valid, but it's kind of like the blind leading the blind, and it's just a little. There's some hypocrisy there.
Yeah.
I think Nikki had a lot to prove, and she's worked hard to prove that she's a wrestler as well, because people were skeptical as well, and now she's telling champion. Eva. Now she's champion, and she's telling Eva like she can't really have that path, and it just.
Yeah, but that's a good point. That Nikki and Bri were both under the same scrutiny for a long time.
They had a lot
with
to
the
prove
WWE universe.
Yeah,
and I definitely saw what they were both saying, and I find it hard to take a side. But I did feel bad that Nikki came away from it feeling like Eva said she was a bad champion and that she wasn't, controlling the locker room. And I think that definitely is her position as the champion to say, "Hey, ladies, be nice." And Eva was sort of right that she didn't do that, but I did feel bad for her because she was sad because she went back to the room and cried.
Yeah,
and, but she was just missing.
And I feel like Eva was right when she. I think Eva had a very good point when she was saying, "Look, Nikki, you are the Divas champ. You are the leader." She was complimenting her and saying, "You should be, representative of how divas should act, and instead you're being catty," is pretty much what she said. Mm-hmm. But I felt like Nikki kind of twisted it and took it just
the wrong way
to a whole new level.
She had some harsh words.
Yeah,
we're not worried about you. You're not a wrestler. This and that. But I do agree.
Which
I think whether it's wrestling or any kind of team or even at work in the office, like if you're a leader, people are going to look up to you. And I believe in what's the saying? What's called where you show instead of preach what you do. Don't come to me. Don't come to me.
In the chat, tell us.
Yeah, no, I mean, she should have been a leader. Instead of attacking her, she should have been like...
Yeah, she straight said, "We don't look at you as a wrestler." I think if I was Eva Marie, I would take it as a hard hit. Like, damn, this really sucks. I'm really all alone. So obviously Eva Marie is going to kind of, rebuttal a little bit.
Right.
I hopefully they're going to mend things eventually.
Well, yeah, I didn't realize that they were so close. It was kind of contentious, and Nikki just kept saying, "Oh, I liked her, and then flashed to her, calling her the B word a few times, which I have to say for a second. Let me get on my soapbox. I don't like that word, and I'm trying to take it out of my vocabulary. And even her saying it tonight, I all of a sudden was like saying it. You know what I mean? And I don't think that it belongs on WWE, on Raw and SmackDown. I don't like it when they do that, and I think that that's just where she could start by being a good leader in the locker room by just taking that B word out of her vocab.
Well, it's
Too much B word tonight and too much meat.
I hate that word, the B word.
Yes.
Yeah, every time I'm dating a guy, I'm like, you can call me anything, but never call me that word, because that is game over. Game
I'm
over.
total opposite. See, I'm total opposite. If I'm really being a B word, then I'm not offended. If I really am, and I know that I am, that's fine.
But I don't think Eva was being a B word.
No, I don't. I don't either. But that's something that we can ask her tomorrow of how her relationship is with Nikki.
So, like, do you think you are a B word? No.
Do you think Nikki is a B word?
Yeah. But I get it. I mean, I think they feel threatened, and I obviously feel that there's a lot of jealousy because Eva has an advantage, which is WWE is pushing her, giving her private lessons with Brian Kendrick, who's awesome. And so I see where the divas are coming from. But everyone
I think they
has...
better get worried.
Everyone has their, like, a different path where they reach that, you know, that goal, you know? So the destination is so different than how they get there.
Everyone's going to be different.
Exactly. But I think, for what it's worth, Eva, at this point, since the season started, she's been trying really hard.
I definitely believe that. I think she put the work in with Brian Kendrick. She wrestled some NXT live events last weekend for the first time. She had 2 matches against Bayley, and a lot of naysayers on Twitter and stuff were saying, you know what, we have to give her props. So, and someone else came out sort of in her corner, which we'll talk about later, but she, by all accounts and reports, has put the hard work in and has improved immensely and is turning into a good wrestler.
Yeah, and let's talk about, even though she wasn't in a match at WrestleMania, she just apparently, word is that she just got signed by, I'm looking for Brad Slater, who represents The Rock, as well as
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey. So those are some
Big names.
big names.
You can't get bigger than that.
You cannot.
No.
So I'm wondering how the divas are going to respond, because she's being a go-getter. Like, pretty much all the negativity, she's using it and powering herself up to go further, you know?
And it's another thing that the WWE set her up with.
Yes.
But who wouldn't turn down opportunity?
That's what I'm
Oh, heck
saying.
no.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think she should apologize for it. It's like, I'm not going to apologize for a company pushing me to other things.
Right.
And being offered a contract and being offered another job.
Obviously, the company sees something in her to give her those opportunities.
And so do other people.
Yeah.
So do other companies.
So, I mean, just imagine, like, if I got an opportunity, I'm like, no. I mean, I gotta ask.
I want to keep working
Christy.
for free.
You know, like, see if she's
Don't make
okay.
my co-host mad.
Yeah, no.
If that's gonna take me out of a free, like, we don't get paid for this, guys. Like, I mean, maybe I shouldn't.
Oh, you're
that's
not?
fine.
That's
I
fine.
mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would take another job. I would
Maybe
stay
you
here.
said that.
I would stay here.
Yeah. I hear ya. All right, so what? I'm like all brain farting.
Because this was a scatterbrain
It's
sort of
such
episode.
a
It really was.
Well, let's talk about what was your effect watching people, the ladies backstage preparing for WrestleMania and seeing those snippets of them at a match? Does that interest you?
No.
Really? I was curious about that.
I'm too competitive. I don't care what you wear. Give me a uniform. I mean, maybe is that part of the whole WrestleMania thing? Is your outfit?
I think it
your
is.
persona?
I think it is.
And if it is, that's fine. First, I just didn't. It didn't grip me.
You said at one point, like, I want to try that or something, didn't you?
I would like to give it a shot at watching it, but this didn't help. Like the backstage, no.
Oh, I can't wait.
No,
to get
I
up in
think
there.
it's because the wrestling, it's too staged for me.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't get me.
But this is staged, I think.
Well, like I said, reality TV is my guilty pleasure.
On a
I've
scale
kept
of
the
1
show.
to scripted, you will find WWE and Total Divas on the same side of the spectrum.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I really enjoyed watching the backstage snippets of WrestleMania because I was there and then seeing them also and how they prepped and all that stuff. Even the Hall of Fame and all of them in their glory and their dresses. It was gorgeous. Now we finally got to see what Paige was wearing.
Sneakers? Or they're not sneakers. What are they called?
Docs? Doc Martens?
Yes.
Her Doc Martens. Her black dress. I mean, could you see her in any other color other than black? And her crying because she's so excited about being in the main event. I will say, as an AJ Lee lover, rest in peace in WWE world, I was very upset with how they portrayed her because they made her sound like she didn't do shit. You know, straight up. Who was it?
They said... I think it was Cameron.
It was Cameron, of course, Ariane, saying, "Oh, there she is sleeping again," and then she's just gonna get up and pin. And it's like, okay, that's not AJ's MO. And I'm going to let you guys know, for those who don't watch wrestling, she is not like that. She's great. She's awesome. I just wanted to back her up for a second. But, yeah.
I feel like you needed to get that off your chest.
Yeah,
I was upset.
Yeah, and I'm sure there were a lot of fans who were thinking that exact same thing.
I was not okay with that. Because, you know, she put a lot into, for all, what it's worth, she put a lot in as well. And I'm sure, like, they wouldn't want to be talked about like that either.
Of course, yeah.
Or Cameron. Could you imagine? Yeah. Anyway.
She would go all kinds of crazy on you, but
that's a whole other after show.
We don't have to talk about her no more.
But yeah, we don't talk about her no more. Is there anything else you guys want to cover? Because
I think that was pretty much it.
I did good. Okay. Well,
it wasn't so meaty. It was fun to. Well, you know what? I did want to ask you, because you were there at WrestleMania, and I think you had a chance to meet some of the girls, right, and stuff. Like, what was your experience there? What did you see?
I met Trinity. She was awesome. You can check out that interview. I also met Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox is amazingly sweet and bubbly and cute. I got the Bella Twins signatures. Those were cool. And I met some of the NXT girls, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, the divas are great. They're hard workers, and they're inspiring, and it's always great to even get a couple questions in with them, because you learn a lot, and as a woman, to see women rise like that, it's great.
It's empowering, yeah.
Very empowering, so... The only one I didn't get was AJ Lee.
The one you wanted?
The one I wanted. The love of my life. Anyway, so you want to move on to some news and gossip? Because I think you have a lot.
Let's do it. Yeah, I have a couple little things here.
Yeah.
Well, we will be able to confirm or not confirm this with her tomorrow.
Yeah.
But reports are saying that Eva Marie is rumored to be in the new WWE 2K16 video game that will be out in October, so that would be a surprise to have her in. And we talked a little bit about John being on Watch What Happens Live, of course.
She's on Trainwreck, too.
It was funny, yes.
You'll see.
Don't ruin it for me.
I'm not ruining it. I'm just saying that he does a great job, and I think it just strengthens John Cena as a character outside of the wrestling world. I enjoy him.
Yeah, and we need to get him back a little more on Total Divas.
And it's funny because I was watching it, and all I'm going to say is that as he was performing in Trainwreck, I'm thinking, why can't his promos be more like that? Because he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah. Oh, well, a little bit of maybe bad news. The premiere, season 4 premiere of Total Divas was actually the lowest rated yet, and brought in 975,000 viewers. But that's still about on point. Yeah, and it's still about on point for what they were doing last season. So when you read those headlines, guys, don't be scared. It's all right. And just one other little thing I did mention earlier, that somebody is in Eva's Diva Corner. TNA champ and former diva Lisa Marie Varone, I'm not positive I'm saying that correctly, but she actually praised Eva's in-ring improvement lately. I'm not sure if she was at the NXT shows or what, but she has watched Eva's wrestling improvement lately and said this girl is working hard and she looks good, and to have someone like that vouch for you, I think is major. So
I definitely need to see this.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Agreed. I have actually scoured the internet for any video from those NXT live shows that happened last weekend. Guys, if you know where to see them on YouTube or whatever the Vimeo, like whatever the other stuff is, please send me the links.
All right. Is that
I think that's it.
Yeah, that wraps it up. We're going to have all kinds of headline-making, breaking news, crazy stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, we will.
Actually, Christy.
Yes.
Hello, this is Mark in the booth. Just a quick note for anybody looking interested in the lives, the matches from Eva Marie. They tend to Periscope the NXT events. So if you follow NXT on Twitter, you might be able to check them out on Periscope as they're happening.
Oh,
I should have known.
I did not know that.
And I should have just asked.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Periscope person, but now I might tune in. Thank you for that, Mark.
Okay. All right. So we all going to go check it out for ourselves and see how
I know.
she did.
We've been talking about it in the trailer. Did you get a chance to look at any of the wrestlers, by the way? Because I forgot to do it.
Someone tweeted me, I don't know if I can go back to it, of who to check out. They gave me like 3 guys.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was. I don't remember their name, but I ended up tweeting back neither.
Okay.
None of them. Just wasn't my taste, I guess.
Okay. So, Mark, we're
trying to find you one.
I know, right?
Find you one.
Apparently, to these ladies, I need a WWE boyfriend. So we're on the hunt for that.
Basically, Mark, we said last week that we're gonna give her some pictures of some of the superstars and see if
Which
they're
one I
hot
would like
or not.
Yeah. I have the names. It was Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan.
Of course, they picked those three.
And I said no to all of them.
They're so
No
beautiful.
I think we found Mark boyfriend.
Okay, I got one for you. I'm gonna do this right now.
All right.
His name is Wade Barrett. I think he's hot.
I agree.
What do you think?
Foxy doesn't seem to think too
He looks like Shia LaBeouf in this picture just because of his hair.
Oh man,
Don't love it, don't hate it.
All right.
Neutral. I will find one by next week. How about that?
Okay,
I will do my research and I will find a WWE boyfriend.
I will show you Christie's. His name is His name is Ryback.
Yeah, you need to know who's off limits, girl.
You can have him.
No contest here, apparently.
And that's his music.
It's good to have different tastes in men from all of us. So
That's true.
you know, you don't want no catty fights.
And you can have two, because I have two. I have two WWE fake boyfriends. Well, I think that being said, any predictions of what's going to go down this season?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Not really. Our thing kind of cut off a little bit, but it looked like it was going to be good. I like
think it always
anytime
cuts off.
that they bring in all the other superstars and stuff, like they were all in cars and we see them interacting. That's what I like.
Yeah.
This Total Divas could cover everybody as far as I'm concerned. Total Divas and superstars.
I'm going to admit, this episode was just such a cluster F for me, and they could have just made the whole trip to WrestleMania on its own, and because they culminated it from last episode, like, okay, we're going to see what's going to go down, and it just went insane this episode. So I want it to be a little more crisper, and I hope for that.
Yeah.
You know, but I predict that the Bella twins are going to make peace with Eva. I think it's going to have to happen. I think this is obviously
You're in a work environment.
yeah.
You gotta
At
find
least Nikki.
some kind of common ground.
Yeah, I think the jealousy is going to calm down. I wonder if men are that catty.
No.
Watching Tough Enough?
No.
Watching Tough Enough this season, I will tell you, the guys have gotten into it and have been just as inappropriately dramatic as the ladies, so.
Yeah. Well,
Of course, some people would say that Tough Enough is not a good reflection of the WWE. But
do you have any predictions?
No, not really. I just really want to see the fight where the drink gets thrown in the face.
I know.
yeah, we
Is that
must be a
happening
ways off
soon?
from that.
I hope so.
We
Yeah.
must be
I
a
want
ways
to
off
see
because they
it.
haven't shown it again. And also, I'm fairly certain that it is Foxy throwing the drink on on Trinity, and there hasn't been a lot of setup yet between the two of them. They laid the groundwork a little bit last episode, but I think we're going to see more escalate between those two before we get to see a drink get thrown.
Angel in the chat says Sasha Banks and John Cena would make a great couple. I'm like, what? I like your comments.
say
It's great.
that.
Interesting.
Yeah, because Sasha Banks seems like, well, she's the polar opposite of Nikki Bella. That's for sure.
She also already has a boyfriend.
So does John Cena. Girlfriend. But yes. Okay, well, that completes our after show. We ran really, really quick, but that's because we're saving our energy for the lovely Eva Marie, who is going to be joining us in studio for a very special Spotlight Lawn tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time. So
13
join us.
hours, 12 minutes, and counting, people.
Yes, and also, you guys, please send us your comments, your questions, anything that you may have at hashtag ABTV Total Divas. And where can everyone follow you?
Yeah, everybody, tweet me. Forget about the links because I got it now. Tweet me at Christy Reports. I still love to interact with you, and we're gonna have so much fun with Eva tomorrow.
I'm excited. And please tweet me at _ Paulina Aguilar. Tweet me pictures of WWE boyfriends you think I should have. And questions.
Just regular guys out there.
I know, right? And don't forget, whatever you guys want to know, we will ask her tomorrow. So don't forget.
I think we want to show her Hornswoggle or maybe El Torito. I think you might like those guys. You can have them both.
I need to see what they look like first.
They're super sexy.
Super sexy, like spinner style. Spinner style. All right, and you can follow me at KAORIOUS on Instagram, Twitter, and all that good stuff. Kaorius, that's where to go. Again, hashtag ABTV Total Divas, and come back in about a little over 12 hours to talk Total Divas with Eva Marie and the Total Divas crew. And for all of AfterBuzz TV, we'll catch you guys very, very soon.
Yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.